Peace to the gods. Peace to the gods. Yusavale here. Doing a live Facebook broadcast. I'll wait a little bit. Everybody start getting in. Yeah, peace, peace, peace. Peace, God. Peace, peace. Got a few little things to talk about today. Let everybody get in. Peace, my brother. What's happening? Jason Brown. Peace, peace, peace. How does this video look? Is this coming in pretty clean? You know, I like to turn mine sideways. Let it fill up the whole screen. Y'all might as well share this one, because I'm about to go in. So my going in videos. And what I want to talk about, let me just go on and get to it. You know, whoever gonna get in, they can watch the recording or whatever. You know, somebody sent me a little thing on Instagram where somebody wrote a paper, the 9 things you need to know to get private. And I was looking for it again. I couldn't find it. But it was the impetus that, you know, caused me to make this video right now that we're about to discuss right now. It's about, and what this video is going to be about is who got the right information, who got the remedy, who knows more than who, all of this kind of stuff right here. And this is just going to be some suggestions coming from someone who's been in this for a long time, who's seen gurus come and go, some very good ones, by the way, and seen all kind of processes and everything. The reason I do things the way that I do is because after all these years of doing administrative processes and helping people and everything, I just came to the conclusion that motherfuckers don't read. Okay? They just don't read. And people are out there capitalizing on the fact that people don't read. I mean, this person was suggesting, oh, you need to know how to get a CUSIP number for your birth certificate. And you need to know how to do a subrogation in court. Basically regurgitating some shit they heard somebody else say, you know, because none of that shit is new. Hell, we were looking up CUSIP numbers on birth certificates back in 2008. You had CUSIP numbers at hushmail.com. Those guys might still be around, but they claim that they can find your CUSIP number to your birth certificate. We were on the process, you know, to look it up on Fidelity Mutual. You can find the old process. It's floating around the internet. You can look it up, you know. All this stuff is written down somewhere. Basically, these people be regurgitating stuff that you can find anywhere. And if any of y'all remember when you used to listen to me on High Frequency Radio, I said that from day one. I told you that. I said nothing's hidden. No one has any secret information. Everything that you need to know is available to you on the internet. And most of these guys, they are trying to capitalize off of you being impatient and you want to know everything now. You know, and that's kind of akin to, like, you know, fitness instructors. I know we got some fitness instructors out there, right? And, you know, some people come to you and they want to get in shape. And you tell them, look, you know, you need to get up and run 5 miles at 6 o'clock in the morning on an empty stomach. You know, you don't need to eat anything after 6 p.m. You need to run again at 30 minutes at that time. Run another 30 minutes before you go to bed. Go to bed early, go to sleep. Don't eat anything but clean carbs. after 6 o'clock, no bread, no sugar of any type, all of this. So, you're giving him this lay down, this plan on what he's going to do. And I've done this before. I've lost 100 pounds just simply running before. So I know this. So now, you know what it does. You know what you need to do to, lose weight. You got 3 6-week programs, You got your conditioning phase, your weightlifting phase, your cardio phase. You go through all these phases. Now here comes someone trying to tell you that, look, man, you don't need to do all that running and shit. You don't need to exercise. I got a motherfucking pill for you that you can just take. And you're going to have instant motherfucking muscles. You're going to have, endurance out the ass. Your dick is going to grow 5 feet long. All of this shit. So they start making promises to you. Now, that ain't how things work. The brain don't work like that. The mind doesn't work. The mind, there's no difference in your mind and in your physical body. The physical body has to be exercised. The mind has to be exercised. And at first you have to learn certain principles. And that's why I do what I do. I give you the principle because what I learned a long time ago, that if you learn the principle, all right, you can go out there and figure out your own remedy. I don't understand what people ain't seeing and everything. What do you think these guys out here doing? They figured out just a little bit of something and then they're trying to create their own thing. We could do it this way or we could do it this way. And basically it's just, them just learning a few things and trying to introduce something new. There isn't anything new. There's nothing new. I challenge any one of you out there to go find somebody to bring something to me that I've never seen before as it relates to any of this. They try to shit on Secure Party Process. You can play this video for them. Secure Party Process is the foundation for all that shit you're doing, all that subrogation, whatever, discharging debt, whatever the fuck it is that you're doing. Secure Party was there first. It's the foundation of all of that shit. And the only reason you don't want to do it, because your ass don't understand it. It's too much for you to read. Okay, it takes too long, and you don't want to do it with your lazy ass. So shut the fuck up, because you don't understand it. You can't explain it to anyone. You can't explain fucking Secure Party. Most of y'all don't even know how to do an administrative process. You claim like that you do know how to do administrative process. You're talking about using promissory notes. Right there on the IRS website, on their employee manual, they tell you straight up they don't accept promissory notes. Okay, so all that's being processed through the Treasury Department, the IRS, is the accounting arm. That's why you need a bill of exchange. A bill of exchange is a 3-party instrument. It has to be drawn off of something. And that's why you have to have a bond on deposit with the Treasury Department that represents your birth certificate. It's not the birth certificate. It's the energy of the birth certificate that you've manifested, that you're putting on deposit with the Treasury Department. And additionally, the United States is operating privately. They're not operating under the Constitution. That's the only way you can operate under the Constitution. Outside the Constitution, you had to go into the private. And when you went into the private, you start dealing with contracts. And as a matter of fact, when you read how the congressional record, those senators tell you that straight up, that the United States went into private business. And this is why I'm always stressing the fact that you have to learn the difference between public and private. This is why I'm always stressing that fact, that you got to learn the difference between public and private. You got to understand that private is dealing with contracts and the public, you're dealing with the Constitution. All right. Got to know the difference between that. All right. So that is how they can pull you. You say, well, they're doing things illegally and unlawfully, or they didn't give me full, I wasn't informed fully of, that I was engaging in a contract. They don't have to do that. Okay. They can put you in a contract and it's called an executory contract. Okay, it hasn't been executed completely. You had an executed contract and you have an executory contract. Okay, and then by the time you get to a certain age, 18 years old, you fulfill the contract by taking benefits and privileges. This is all about benefits and privileges. This is about benefits and privileges. This is about responsibility. This is about responsibility. Understanding what it means to be free. Understanding what it truly means to be free. A lot of y'all don't understand what freedom really means. And then those who do don't want to take on the responsibility of what is required in order to be a free individual. To be really free. To be a free individual requires responsibility. It requires an ability to respond. So we're talking about, when you talk about subrogation, that's replacing. All that is, that's talking about you eliminating the amalgamation between you and the straw man. Everything in the public is an artificial entity. That's something else you need to know. Everything. You know what everything means? Everything. Everything in the public is a legal fiction. Is a legal fiction. Everything. Everything in the private are real living souls. Flesh and blood human beings. All right? So you got to know that. Everything in, that's why they got it in all caps. Your name in all caps. It represents an artificial entity. And you are coming from the private into the public, being a surety, okay? That's why they call it a transmitting utility. It's transmitting, they're getting private credit and bringing it into the public to pay the national debt, which is basically your energy, your labor. And that is the conduit for that. Or they call it a transmitting utility. Okay? This is why. I don't give a fuck what they come up, ask me any fucking thing about this. Bring up anything. I don't give a fuck whatever it is. You don't think I done read all that stuff that they, I can go show you where to get the documents. I saw those 10 things, I didn't see not one thing on there that's new. And they're trying to come up with ways to sell you something. The reason I don't like it is because, you know, it's always a bitch ass move because they always got to pump themselves up by trying to tear somebody else down. Well, you can't tear me down. I'm gonna burn you. I'm gonna blaze your ass up and tear you down and burn you to the ground. I'm gonna burn you to the ground. Because you know why? Because the difference in me and these other gurus is that what I teach requires you to study. I can give you all the paperwork. I can give you all the paperwork for free, which is what I did in the beginning. I gave all the secured party process paperwork away. But you got to study. I gave people access to my Dropbox for like 2 years. All of it. But you got to study. Because what I understood was you got to read the shit. So now you got people out there trying to sell you something, telling you basically ain't got to study nothing. Or you got to study for 2 weeks. Or something like that. You need to get the fuck away from them. They're going to get you fucked up. I'm trying to tell you. This is not easy. Don't let nobody try to make you believe this is easy. Ask them, have they been to court? Ask them, have they been in jail? Ask them, have they fought off a criminal charge? A serious criminal charge. Not no fucking traffic tickets. They pop up some traffic tickets, get that shit the fuck out of my face. Ain't no fucking old processes. Jason Brown, ain't no old processes. No, let me turn it back. Ain't no new processes, Jason Brown. Give me a new process. Cause ain't nothing new under the sun. This shit ain't new. It's all the same shit. Y'all putting spins on it. It's all the same shit. The laws, the principles ain't changed. The principles ain't changed. They're the same principle. You got to know public and private. You got to stay in on at all costs. You cannot participate in public controversy. All right? You got to know the rules to the game. You got to know the rules to the game. And when you know the rules been the same. I've been reading this for 15 years. I done read everybody. I done read dudes talking about going on in the government, finding money and all that. I mean, there isn't any money. There is no gold and silver is money. All right? So where are you coming from with this? You got some secret bank account shit. Now, can't you see that that's some sort of red herring? That's something to take you off the path and everything, to dangle something in your face to get you to going somewhere and everything. It ain't no money. You are the money. Okay, everything is based off credit, and credit don't function in this society unless somebody signs something, a real living soul. Has to give a promise he's going to pay it back, and that payment is coming back with your labor. So the only thing that has value is labor. Slavery. What the fuck you don't understand? This is the type of shit that anybody can sit around and fucking meditate on and come to the motherfucking conclusion of what is going on. You know, this is not difficult. This is not difficult. If you turn off the TV and start paying attention, you know, you should be making up your own process. That is my goal. My goal is to have it where you make up, because you know where I got this from? I read this document called One Man Out by Aaron Coates. It's one of the first documents I read. And in the forward of that document, he said that you learn the principles is what you got to learn. He said you learn the principle and your own process will pop out right in front of your eyes. And he was not lying. Because when you get all that down packed, you can create your own process. And I've seen, and I ain't gonna lie, I've seen some very good process, some beautiful processes. One of them is the cracking the code, the Redemption Manual. I think it's Redemption Manual 5. The new one, where in there he has the trust. He's put the whole secure party process in a trust, which is what it is in the first place. It's already a trust called a UCC contract trust account. And he just drafted it as a trust, because all it really is a trust document. But he just kind of made it more formal and so forth. He did a very good job. I was, very impressed. Not nothing new, really, but the form of it was very beautifully done. But it's not anything new, okay? The thing is, let me see if I can put this simple. You have value. Everything that's in the public is promises to pay. I'm looking at these guys that comment on my YouTube page, on the Gene Keating video. Say, I don't know what he's talking about. The government paid you and all this. They got a case called Perry versus the United States that kind of goes into that. But I'm like, man, dude, do you hear yourself? How you get paid with promissory notes? How did you get paid with promissory notes? What they did was they threw them to you and they said, well, look, you're a U.S. citizen. You can use this in commerce to go get goods and services. But you weren't really paid. You were just given like slave paper. It's like no different than being in prison, because everything they do is based off the prison system. You go down to the commissary, okay, where they give you, or they give you some like say, okay, we don't take cash down at the commissary. You got, it's on your books or whatever like that. You got some credits on your books and everything. But they ain't finna let you use no cash down there. Well, that's how they are. It's okay. Well, we ain't finna let you use no gold down at the store, but we'll give you some like Monopoly paper you can use, go down there, and then you can pick for whatever we give you to motherfucking eat out this motherfucking store that we put in your neighborhood and shit. You got to start thinking like that and everything. It's like, they giving it to you. They provide, these your public servants, man. They sitting here acting like they your master and everything. You got to stop, think for a second. They got you all afraid of them. They telling you a sovereign citizen and all this. When it's very clear in Chisholm versus Georgia, okay, John Jay and all them boys, they said we sovereigns. They said the audacity of the state of Georgia to act like they sovereign. This supercilious notion that the government is sovereign is ridiculous. These Supreme Court justices speaking. But you'll never hear any of them talk about it. They'll skip right over it like it don't really exist and start going into these all-point arguments and start talking about things that have absolutely nothing to do with what we're discussing. Continuously talking about what you believe in. I don't believe in a motherfucking thing. I either know or I don't know. Facts is something that can be proven beyond a reasonable doubt. And that's what I'm into. I'm not into belief. So you're not dealing with somebody that's into belief. I'm looking for proof. I taught myself how to read cases, going to law libraries and all this kind of stuff to find out what this stuff is really talking about. And what it is at the end of the day, the biggest problem is that so many people don't know. That so many people only get interested in it when they have a problem. All right, that every time an election comes up, the real issues aren't being discussed. They talk about welfare and shit. They want to keep y'all, concentrated on continuously accepting benefits and privileges, healthcare, all of this kind of stuff. You sitting here talking about that. All those things is what's keeping you locked up in the system and keeping them the master and you the slave. Why would I want to talk about that every election, every 4 years? Why? You got to learn the real issue. These are not the real issues. The real issue is, are you free? That's what this is about. This is not about making money. It's about freedom. Freedom. But anyway, that's my little rant for right now. I'm open to take some questions. Go get whoever you want to go get. Let's get it. Let's get it right now. Because, I've been kind of busy, with the Airbnb. That's what you see behind me right now. It's my little Airbnb that I've been working on and everything. I'm real proud of it. It's only been live about 3 days. I almost got what I got, about 15, 16 people already reserved spots here and everything. So it's taking off real good. I was thinking about doing a thing where let people reserve a spot here and get to have a one-on-one consultation with me for a day. You know, spend the day with me and so forth. Thinking about doing that, you know. Might do it, still might do it, you know. Yeah, Brother May's gonna hit you. Brother May's got some personal issues. He was telling me, he was saying, man, you know, I don't wanna, you know, I can't, he said, right now I just can't be in the public like that. He don't like being in the public. He don't like doing that type of stuff. So, you know, he's a very private individual. But, you know, some people just don't, they want to be in the camera and everything. But May's got a lot going on. But he'll get back with you. He's going to get with you. But let's get to it. I love to feed my hippocampus. I know that's right. Let's get to it. Let's have a discussion. It's simple. There is a public and a private. Okay? That's one. There's 4 rules to the game. You learn these 4 things. I don't give a fuck what they bring. I don't give a fuck what type of process somebody bring. I just don't care. I don't care what their name, Guru Superman, Guru Boo Boo Bay, Guru, whatever their names are and everything. I really don't care. There are 4 rules to this game. All right? There is no money. There is a public and a private. You have to stand on at all costs. And you cannot participate in public controversy. And that last one is in your Bible. It tells you. And Matthew, 15:23? Or no, 5:25. Agree with your adversary while you're on the way to court. At least he hand you over to the judge hand you over to the bailiff cash you into prison. I tell you, you will not come out until you pay the very last farthing or penny. That means penny. Okay. All right, we're talking about debtors' prisons. All right, how debtors' prisons work 2,000 years ago. And in principle, they have not changed at all. They haven't changed. The only thing that's changed, they got more technology, make the buildings look better. That's it, you know. And the courtrooms look better and all of that shit. But the principles ain't changed. So, you know, you got to understand these things. You know, I know it's kind of hard to understand. Some of y'all have been acclimated to argue, to fight. And, you know, fighting goes against the principle of nature. Fighting goes against nature. Fighting is not peace. You know what I'm saying? When you fighting, when you put out energy, whatever energy you put back comes back to you. That's one of the laws of nature. So how can you win? How can you win if you fight? How can you win? How can you win? I mean, you know what I'm saying? You're fighting. You got to use like a jujitsu where you got to use their energy against them. If you're talking about fighting in that sense, okay. But it got to be like wise. You got to be like a peace. You got to be like a gentleman. You got to be all these things like this. You know, you got to understand the laws of nature. So somebody will come in here and try to argue with me right now. You got to fight. I'm like, man, I go against nature, man. Goes against nature. Goes against nature, you know. Let me see what we got. Okay, income and expenses versus assets and liabilities. What are great ways to start building assets? I mean, if I had to tell you a great way, it would be to do what you love and to use your talents. Do what you love and use your talents. You know, because success requires perseverance and goal setting. And the only thing that's going to push you through to your goal and have perseverance is if you're doing something you love. You're not going to continue and go through too many failures in doing something that you don't love. And then you got to understand, you don't know where the money's going to come from. You're not, I mean, I can honestly tell you this, like when you start doing what you love, you may not in the beginning be able to see how you're going to make some money doing what you're doing. It just shows up. The universe is a very magical place. You know, it follows the laws of nature and everything. And I can tell you this honestly, that hard work never, goes unrewarded. Hard work never goes unrewarded. Okay, income and expenses versus assets and liability. And an asset is anything that's bringing in money. Energy. And we don't even need to talk about money. We could say, how are you attracting energy to yourself? That's how I prefer to look at it. If you're making money, that means you got energy that's being drawn to you. And then, you got other people who see energy being drawn to you and they're trying to look ways to draw it to themselves when they don't understand is that, that's another principle of nature. There is no competition. I understood that early on. That's why I didn't show up on the scene like denouncing other gurus or talking about people or doing a lot of little bitch shit, because I consider myself a real man and shit. And just some things, men don't do. Like, men, we don't gossip and all that shit. You don't see me with no 50 motherfucking niggas around me and shit like that. I roll solo most of the time. Because I don't need a whole bunch of sycophants around me to make me feel secure about what I'm doing or what I'm saying. I feel secure in myself. So these are things that, and a matter of fact, when I first came on, I started introducing a lot of people. You go back and listen to all my old audios. Hell, I'm bringing in a lot of these new gurus and everything and giving them a voice, giving them a platform so they can come again on, because I understood that there was a principle called many men know many things and no man knows everything. And I knew from the onset that I didn't know everything, even though some other individuals like to posture themselves as knowing everything, because those are the type of individuals that don't like to say, I don't know. They're afraid of those words. I don't know. So they start making up shit. We used to call that moosing, making up your own shit. They start making up shit to sound good. And then the gullible and the weak-minded eat it up and then start bringing it to me and, telling me, hey, I got this new remedy. What do you think about guru so-and-so? I went through the guru. I'm trying to help you out. I went through that phase too for a couple of years, following gurus. Some very good ones. There were some very good ones. Gurus are necessary. You got some people out there that are some very earnest and very intelligent and hardworking researchers. And I'm not trying to put them down at all. But what I am trying to say is the purpose of what we're doing is to get you to a point where you can stand on your own square, where you have an understanding or overstanding of this information, where you don't need a crutch, you don't need the assistance of anyone. If you're still needing assistance, if you want to hire somebody to do some paperwork for you or something like that, you don't need to be messing with this. You definitely don't need to be going into court with it or anything like that. Because all that's going to happen is somebody's going to use some paperwork and you'll understand it. You'll understand it. And I went through that too. Like I said, when, first time I went in court, I'm on the phone with my homeboy. I said, say, man, what I do in court? Hey, man, go in there and tell them you're the holder in due course. Man, I didn't find out what the holder in due course mean until like a year later. I didn't even know what that fucking was. I was in there saying that shit like 50 times. I'm the holder in due course. Here's the third party intervener making a special appearance as an authorizer. I didn't know what the fuck holder in due course meant. Did not know. Now I know. Now I know, understand the importance of it. Now I understand, because we're talking about negotiable instruments. I understand we're talking about presentments. Look up the definition of presentment, around the 4 cents of the word. You're going to see we're talking about negotiable instruments. And you're going to see that an indictment, all right, is like it says in the Constitution, you can't be, charged with a crime unless on presentment or indictment. Okay, income, what else we got? And then, I try to give you realistic expectations. It's like, some of you gonna have sometimes, somebody have some success right off the bat. And they think that's what happened to me. What happened to me, my first time out, I had success right on the bat. I discharged the mortgage and I was doing a whole bunch of shit, and everybody was coming to me and everything. And then, like the powers that be, this is why I can tell you right now that no matter what guru is out there, he don't know what the fuck he's talking about, because those people who y'all are going up against, when they see one individual getting too much attention or too much exposure, they're going to do something to that individual to take them out. Because it's a lot easier, because it's just cutting off the head of the snake. It's cut off the head of the snake. They believe in that principle. So, or even if they don't do anything to them personally, they're going to do something to make the process stop working. So the processes or your remedies are constantly morphing and so forth, but the principle never does. It's still an underlying debt collection. There are debtors and creditors. You're going in a commercial venue, all right? And the only thing is that issue is who's the debtor and who's the creditor. This is what all this subrogation and promissory note talk that you're getting is coming from, and going on Fidelity Mutual website and looking up your birth certificate number. What do you think you're doing all that shit for? You're doing all that shit so you can collateralize or securitize an instrument and then draft negotiable instruments off of it and use it to offset obligations in the public. If you don't understand what I just said, go look up every word. I see y'all starting to tune in. It's Yusufel. And let's get some questions in. Don't be afraid. Ask me something. Ask me right now. You got to start with that Constitution. Got to start with that Constitution. Got to understand the limitations of government, what their powers that we've delegated to them, what they can and cannot do. And all they've been doing is spending time trying to expand those powers over you. That's all they've been doing for the last 100 years, trying to figure out ways to trick you into giving up your sovereignty so they can start exercising control over you because you're viewed as an animal. You're looked at as an individual who doesn't think for himself. And they think that they are the most intelligent people on the planet and you need to be controlled. And so you don't need to have no freedom or anything like that. Fuck this God shit. What do you mean God? You know, that's an interesting thing too. I was thinking about nature, because I was reading this document. I was reading some stuff by Anton LaVey, and Anton LaVey, he started this Church of Satan, and how he did it, it's like, you read these people, it's like, you get a totally different image of them when you start really reading it. And, the Satanists, they understand natural laws and things like that too. But they kind of look kooky and off and everything. But he read a lot of stuff that basically tied into do with thy will, or only the strong survive, or survival of the fittest. All right, survival of the fittest. This is basically, the concept. And, I think about that a lot of times. I look around in nature and look what you see in nature. I'm looking at, insects, lions, tigers, fish, everybody. It seems like in nature, everything is preying on something else. Everything is preying on something else. My homeboy said, that's animals, man. You're above an animal, true. But is there something in nature? Is there some underlying principle that if you're weak, you're meant to be destroyed? And then so now we have to get into what is strength, mental strength, physical strength, all the different types of strength there are. But what constitutes being weak, And I'm just looking at it, it's like these people have this concept of might makes right. And they're disguising justice, but really what's behind it, just like it says in Silent Weapons for Quiet Wars. The Protocols of Learned Elders of Zion. It said, we're giving them this impression of justice, but really it's might makes right. We got a gun behind it. We use violence. They use violence for everything. Look at what Trump is doing right now over in Iraq, And all that is, I think all that's they got together, did a business move to raise oil prices. I heard oil and gold prices finna shoot through the roof, because of this war, what's going to happen over in Iraq. And so who's going to benefit from that. So all these guys, I think behind the scenes, they sit back and chill and eat. And, I don't even know if the other guy's dead, We don't even know. And after the Constitution, what do we read? I would say
Well, the first thing I would say is even before the Constitution, you got to know the laws of nature. That's why I put that Kabbalion video up. I think that, before you even read any of that, you got to know the principles of nature. And then we can talk about William Blackstone. We can talk about the Bible, because essentially all the laws in this country is based off William Blackstone commentaries in the Bible. But those two particular books have foundation in natural law. So in order for you to, because you got to understand who were the founding fathers were deists, Masons, people like this. And that's all they study is natural law. That's all they study, natural law. Masons, Rosicrucians, Illuminatis, Brotherhood of Light, Satanists. I don't care what group it is, whatever group you're talking about, they all study the same thing, the laws of nature. They all understand that, those 7 principles. And so that's what you got to lock down first. Because then when you understand why certain documents are drafted the way they are, or what constitutes a right versus a benefit or a privilege, based off the laws of nature. And then you begin also to understand that your public servants, they try to act like, natural law is some sort of opinion or something like that. Well, I think they believe natural law exists, and, we don't really know what the laws of nature are, and that's all bullshit. They know what it is. I read their high-level documents and everything. Only if there's somebody talking like that coming out of the public, he's a goddamn puppet. He's a lapdog. He's not worth the shit that comes off the bottom of your foot for a dog or whatever. I'm telling you straight up. You got to know the laws of nature. So that's what I would concentrate on. I would definitely concentrate on the laws of nature. Something like the Kabbalion. I'd read something like the Egyptian Kabbalion by the 3 initiates. I'd read that, lock that down, and then I'd just start just reading other documents. Because and do this for me. After you read the Kabbalion, go get a Black's Law Dictionary, like 8th edition. Anyone that has all the maxims of law at the back of the dictionary, and then read those and see if you can categorize those maxims of laws in accordance with those 7 principles. And that's going to be an eye-opener for you. Anything else? I'm in rare form today, y'all. I'm strictly business. Strictly business. Peace to everyone. Why don't y'all put up on the screen what state you in and city, or your city and your state. Let me see where all y'all coming from. Put your city and your state up. Let me see where our reach is right now. Your city and your state. Pop it on the screen. Represent your city and your state. See where everybody's at. Kansas City, Missouri, Chiefs, baby. DC. Central Florida. All right, Central Florida. DC, Kansas City. I've been to Kansas City, been to Florida, been to Central Florida, been to DC. All wonderful areas. What else we got? Look how all these people are. Omaha, Nebraska. Ain't been there. Super Bowl bound with the Kansas City Chiefs. Andy Reid, he's questionable. He got some sort of, I don't know, he got some block. He got some block somewhere on Andy Reid. He need to break it. Houston, Texas. My home state, great state of Texas. Yeah, where you coming from? Y'all tell me where you from. My homeboy. I like Patrick Mahomes. Right now, I like the Baltimore Ravens. I'm picking the Ravens to win the Super Bowl. Picking the Baltimore Ravens. That's my pick. So, And you know, hey, Deshaun Watson ain't playing. You know, that's gonna be a good game. So it's gonna be a good game. We're gonna see. I'm going for Texas because you know I'm from Texas, so I'm going for the Texans. So you know, it's no. I like my homes, but hey, you know, he's going against home and everything. So Louisville, Kentucky. I've been to Kentucky. I went to the Kentucky Derby, man. I had a great time at the Kentucky Derby. I had a great time. The Kentucky Derby was off the chain. I'm like, wow. And then the after party was cool as hell. Had a great time. Great time. Yeah, I'm told everybody to put their city and state up on the screen. Some of y'all probably don't want to just tell. Oh, you just put your state up. I don't need to know what city you're in, you know. Just state up, sure. Any questions? I ain't gonna stay on here all day today. Got 84 people on here. Everybody just wants to watch. I'm getting tired too. Let's see. Bird plays a Malcolm X. Oh man. You on with your squad. Yeah, you're right. Massachusetts, Maryland. Okay. Been to Massachusetts. I just found out my daughter got accepted to Princeton. If you're watching this, I am very proud of you. McKaylin. I'm very proud of you, McKaylin. Gun shy because you're gonna be going off on folks. I ain't gonna go off on nobody. I ain't gonna go off. I mean, you know, I just tell people all the time, you know, don't be, you know, like I said, you know, don't let people insult your intelligence. That's all I be trying to really say. You know, don't keep falling for the same shit over and over again. This is what I'm pissed off because we keep falling for the same. They be using the same tactics on us over and over and over. Look what Trump just did. They trying to impeach him. He started a war. How many times y'all seen that shit? You know what I'm saying? They use the same tactics over and over and over and over again. Over and over. You know, a black man, they gonna give him some rape charge or something like that. You know, it's the same tactics. They use the same tactics over and over. They not damn creative and shit. They they just do this right here at work. The sheep will accept it. That's why it's crazy for a person to really want to become a martyr. You know, why would you be a martyr and everything? You know, and people acting like sheep. It ain't worth it. Yeah, I know she did. You know, I'm impressed. I think they're running a stage play. Yeah, a stage play. Let's see what we got here. All right. Let's talk about enforcing a lien. Okay, enforcement of lien is in Article 3 of the UCC. Okay, and that involves you first of all, you have to learn how to do an administrative process properly. And then you have to know the difference between law and equity. Okay, if you're going to enforce a lien. And a lien is about you got to know what is going to make a lien enforceable, and that requires documentation. Okay, a lot of times you see people be like charged with putting fraudulent liens on individuals because they don't know what they're doing. They don't document properly. Okay, if you documented everything properly, nobody's going to charge you with fraud. Okay, and which means that you giving proper notices. If you look in the public, before they put a lien on anyone, they give you like 1 million notices. You have to go through all kind of stuff. You got to get a decision from the court and so forth and things of that nature. So the thing is that you have to document every step of the way and give notice every step of the way of what you are doing. That's the concise version of it. All right. Before you go to any enforcement, the enforcement happens by operation of law because you've done everything that you were supposed to properly, where it's without question. You got to understand what we're doing. You can't make no mistakes. Can't make no mistakes. Actually, I keep saying I'm gonna do this video on liens. I got all the stuff to do the video. It's just so fucking long. I'll be thinking y'all be appreciating. And it's a funny thing. Sometimes I do them long ass videos, nobody watch them. I do a 15-minute video, tell you how to go get a passport, 300,000 views, That'd be the thing. It's like, damn, I'm doing all this work. Anyway, that's my message for today. I ain't gonna keep y'all up late. I see y'all like y'all just chilling and everything. I want to invite everybody to come over to SPC University. I'm going to go back. It's the beginning of the year. I'm going to go back and start doing live webinars for the members. I'm not advertising a paid webinar. I do webinars for my members free. And you got that done. So, okay, now Gordy, Tawana. Okay, I see what you say you got done. I need to look at it to see if you did it properly. Because that is the thing. People say they did it, but did you do it properly? Give the right notices. Did you send them correctly? Did you use a notary? Did the notary send the documents or did you mail the documents? The notary has to be a witness. The notary one is a witnessing that the documents are mailed off. You have to have witnesses, 2 witnesses. And some people mail them in themselves. And which you can do that, and get the green slips back if they want to admit on the record that they got them. But just in case they want to say they don't know what you're talking about, you need to have, everything documented properly. I mean, I don't know. You can count them, can't you? Hey, what's going on? What's going on, Daryl Royal? What's happening, man? Long time no see, brother. How you doing? How you doing? Good to see you again, bro. Hey, but look, y'all, I'm tired. I've been working. I've been up all day. I'm exhausted. I just wanted to make a short video and talk about processes. If y'all, next time I come in, let's get into it right off the rip. You know what I'm saying? Let's just start, do Q&A. Let's get it. Right now, I talk